And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's going on, Cowboy Nation and angry Cowboy fans around the world? It's your boy, the Angry Cowboys fan, here on YouTube, the place where you can find my raw and uncut emotion about the Dallas Cowboys 24/7, 365, and as long as I'm alive, y'all know I'm DC for life, baby. And if you're DC for life, won't you join the hundreds of angry Cowboys fans as we chart, as we watch, and as we cheer on the Dallas Cowboys through the 2023 season and beyond? Watching a segment on NFL Network's Good Morning Football this morning, the crew spoke about the Dallas Cowboys' upcoming matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. Jamie Erdell asked the crew the question, what kind of message could Dallas send to San Francisco and Philly while they're watching Thursday Night Football? Jason McCourty quickly jumped into the answer, but the thing is, his answer contained a bit of the Talking Heads playbook. So I'm going to play for you the audio of Jason McCourty's response, and we're going to come back and unpack that raw and uncut. So, angry Cowboys fans, take a listen to what Jason McCourty had to say.
What kind of message could Dallas send to San Francisco and Philadelphia while they're watching Thursday Night Football?
It's funny when you talk about Dallas and you're saying message and it's a regular season game and it brings up the topic that we all love to talk about. Dallas can't send a message in this game, nor do they need to. They've been rolling as of late, and that's the only thing they can do. I feel like you go into this game against a Seattle team who's above 500, a good team, and if they beat up on them, you're like, all right, Dallas beat up on a good team, and they beat up on them good, won by plus 20 or whatever the case it may be. We'll come in here on Friday and we'll say, well, Seattle had already lost 2. They're struggling to stay in the playoffs. Geno Smith is banged up. We'll come up with every and any excuse. And we'll be like, all right, Dallas, they're going to get their 12 wins in a regular season. Well, talk to me in January. So for me, as you watch this Dallas team, and they're continuing to play really well, Dak Prescott has been absolutely balling. If you have him in your fantasy league, you're looking at, and he's putting up 30, 40 points week in and week out. As of late, that's all they can do. I don't think for them at this moment, it's like, all right, we have to continue to go out there and prove our doubters wrong. They're playing better football. They got beat up on by the Niners. They lost a close game to the Eagles, but they continue to show up week in and week out, and that's all they possibly can do. I don't think there's a message to be had. If they blow out Seattle, I don't think we come in here and we're like, all right, Dallas is for real. I do believe, me personally, that they are for real. They're real contenders in the NFC. I put them in the same boat as Philly and the 49ers. No, they don't have the record. They've lost to those teams, but they can compete with them. As it comes down to stretch, this Seattle game is kind of like that tune-up for Philly. And Dak kind of said it right there. Seattle needs this one more than us. This is a game you go out there, no matter how desperate they are, whatever the case it may be, you find a way to win this game, knowing on the other side of it, you have a Philadelphia team that you've already lost to this season that you want to get back at and possibly have Philly drop some, then you split and you have a chance to win the division.
Did you hear what he said about the Talking Heads and how the Talking Heads will sound coming into the show on Friday? If the Cowboys continue their winning streak, you can guarantee that the Talking Heads are going to continue their hatred and minimize their victory. He sounded just like the Talking Heads that hate the Dallas Cowboys. It was passive-aggressive the way he put the haters on Front Street and threw them under the bus, as if their negative response isn't programmed into what they say. He mapped out the typical things that the Talking Heads say about the Dallas Cowboys' victory while trying to diminish and minimize the Dallas Cowboys' accomplishments. Well, Seattle had already lost 2. They're struggling to stay in the playoffs. Geno Smith is banged up. We'll come up with any and every excuse, ... Then he changed the talking point. So allow me to finish that statement for you, Jason. What I feel you were going to say is, we'll come up with any excuse to discredit the Cowboys' accomplishments and not give this team the credit they deserve. Am I close? He goes on to give Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys their flowers. I believe he's right on the nose with his assessment. The Dallas Cowboys are getting better during a time where we tell other teams to get better. I remember hearing that Thanksgiving football separates the men from the boys. That's when football actually starts. Well, Cowboy Nation, the Dallas Cowboys handled business on Thanksgiving Day with yet another blowout performance. The Dallas Cowboys do not have to send a message to Philly this week. The game against the Washington Commanders should have done that. The Commanders is a team that the Philadelphia Eagles struggle with. They won by 7 one game. Then the Washington Commanders took them into overtime and Philly won by 3. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Commanders by 35. I know if I were a player on the Philadelphia Eagles, that Thanksgiving game would have stuck out in my head. Message sent. The only message we can send to the San Francisco 49ers is to go to Levi Stadium and win the game if the playoffs call for it. The way the playoff positioning is set up now, the Dallas Cowboys are going to travel down to the NFC South and face either the Falcons, the Saints, or the Bucs. Pretty easy, right? Then it's on to San Francisco because they're going to beat whoever they face in the wild card round of the playoffs. It's at this point where the Dallas Cowboys need to take all that Niners hate that they had for us in the first game, all that vitriol that they showed before, during, and after that game. The shirt that Kittle wore under his pads. The last 2 times that they eliminated us from playoff contention. We need to take all of that, go into Levi Stadium, and handle the Niners. Hand them their first loss that will cost everything. Not the first loss of the season, but their first loss that will cost them everything. And that loss will guarantee there's no tomorrow for the San Francisco 49ers in the 2023 season. We need to take all that hatred from the Niners fan base and play with grit, play with desire, play complimentary football, and play it to the Dallas Cowboy standards. It's enough to beat the San Francisco 49ers. It's even better to destroy them. Jason McCourty is even getting hip to the Talking Heads game. But that's the agenda. Jason, I think you're late to the party. It's not just ESPN or FS1. It's on the NFL Network as well. So, Jason McCourty, you recognize the agenda. What are you going to do to not be a part of it? This has been your boy, the Angry Cowboys fan. If you like the content, don't hesitate in subscribing to the channel. Hit that bell so you can stay up to date and be a part of the ACF notification squad. You can be notified whenever I drop another video or whenever I go live. I want to give a special shout out to everyone who rocks with and are Angry Cowboys fans themselves. Without you, none of this would be possible, and I am grateful and I am humble to be among the few to bring you classy Cowboys content. Anyhow, make sure you drop a like on the video if you found this video entertaining and informative, and I will see you Angry Cowboys fans in the next one. I'm out.